Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Origami Folder 25, and today I'm going to be showing you how to fold this awesome new General Grevious that I just figured out how to fold. So, this is my own custom design. I used sort of a modified NW base, as you'll see. And yeah, it's a little bit more advanced than the stuff I normally do, but actually I think that's a good thing because in the long run, it just looks awesome. So I hope you guys really like it, and I'm going to be showing you how to make it today. So I'll put that off to the side. And the materials you need for this, again, are really simple. If you've seen most of my videos, then you kind of already know where I'm going with this. You're going to be taking the one and only 1/2 sheet of paper, cut the long ways. So if this was one whole sheet of paper, then you would only take half of it. Pretty straightforward. And then, since this is a kirigami puppet, not regular origami, kirigami is just origami with cuts, and obviously for cuts, you are going to need a pair of scissors. So again, pretty simple. Now, once you have all those materials, put your scissors off to the side, we won't need them right now, and you're going to take the top bit of this paper right here, and you're going to fold it down. Now this is going to determine the size of General Grevious's head. So if you want a bigger head, then you make this fold bigger. If you want it smaller. Personally, I try and get it in a sort of square shape. I know that's not really helpful, but if you can get it sort of at least square-ish, then that's more helpful than not. So once you have that, then this is the NW base part. You're going to fold these corners in like this. So I just folded that corner down like that, and so you have something that looks like that. Now the next part, you're going to unfold those. You're going to flip it over, and then on those same creases that you just made it fold forward, you're going to fold them backwards as well. This is going to create a very fine crease, and you also are going to want to crease these well, because we're going to be doing something to these folds as they are not going to stay the same like this. So after you've done that, you're going to again unfold them. And this step can be really tricky, but if you've had experience doing this thing called the NW base, then it's not that hard. And if not, you're probably fine. And if you did everything right, you should just be able to stick your thumb in this little pocket like this, and then you just kind of fold this down. So then you inside reverse this fold into this underneath this piece of paper right here. So again, I'll just repeat that a little bit slower. You just take your thumb, or you can just fiddle with it, and then you fold that down, and then you squish it down like that. So you have sort of like a, I don't know, a spring? You call it whatever you want. And then of course, we'll do the same thing on the other side as well. So you got something like that now. Okay, that's one of the hardest steps. So now the rest should be pretty straightforward. Next step is you're going to take the bottom of this paper and you're going to fold it up until it meets this bottom part of the part that we just completed. So this will be the head part. You're going to fold it over so that it's not going over the head. It's not going a little bit under the head. It's just right in line with that fold right here. Okay. Now, once you have that, you're going to flip this over and you're going to fold these in. Now, when you're folding these in, you want to keep in mind to keep at least a little bit of a edge right there like that. This is going to be very important for making the sides of General Grevious's head, where his ears, I guess, I don't know what to call them. I guess that's what they are. This is the very important step that's going to be creating these later on. So make sure you get this right. I'm just going to adjust my light here a little bit. Sorry about that. All right. And as per usual, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And I would try and get these as identical as possible, so like the same size, so that way you're not having one ear thing that's bigger than the other, if you get what I mean. So yeah, once you have that, now you're going to just pop those out, because we don't want to fold those later on. And now you're going to do sort of the same thing we did for these is you're going to do something called a squash fold, where you put your finger inside this little gap of paper and you're just going to squash it down like that. So you get kind of a triangle down here and two separate things of paper. And this should be not attached to this. If you do have that, then you did something wrong and you should go back and try and fix it, because that's a no-no. And then again, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we just, I'm going to repeat this step. Whoops. You're going to take this pocket right here and you're just going to squish it down. Just like that. Okie dokie. Now, once you have that, you're going to flip it over. I almost squished that. And on these same creases that you folded it back over there, you're going to take these and you're going to fold them back as well. So now you have something that looks similar on each side. So you have that on the front, or this will be the back. And then you have something like this on the front. So it should look similar. Like you have the two identical things on the same side. And then you have that at the top, which will be the head. Okay, now here's where you're gonna need your scissors. And I will admit this part is a little bit tricky. So what you're going to do is, this is the bit that's gonna make the arms. Right along this crease that you folded these back again, you're going to cut like halfway down. This is going to determine the size of the arms. So yeah, halfway down is just a good size in general. So again, that's not exactly halfway, but it's a little bit over. That's okay. If that becomes a problem later on, then you can just go, you'll have to redo it, because this is by far the trickiest step, because you cannot undo cuts. And then you're also going to make another one right in the center of this thing right here. So that way you have two sort of legs, I guess. And then, you guessed it, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, again, just cut and try. You want these to all be the same height again, so you don't want to have one arm that's longer than the other. Of course, if you want that, then that's totally fine too. Origami is, you can make it whatever you want it to be. You don't have to follow my instructions to the T. Just closely enough that you get something that resembles what you want. Okay. So again, this is by far the trickiest step. And once you're done with this, you should have the four arms, or the things that will become the arms. So now we have that. You're going to refold these, and you're going to take this and you're going to fold it across like this. Now you want to have a tiny bit of a gap right there. So if you can see that, I have a little gap right in between this triangle and this triangle. If you don't have that, then I guess that's okay. It's not really that important. You just want to try and get these to where they're folded out and they're sticking out of the side like this. So it should look something like that from the front. I must have done something wrong with these, because they're a little longer. They're a little shorter and blunter than those, but again, that's totally fine. I had a little bit of, I did this wrong and it still worked out fine, so it might work out fine for you too. And if not, then you can always try again, because that's what origami is, it's learning. So after you have that, then you're going to take this back bit, and it should be separate from the whole thing. So you can just fold this down and kind of like meet it where these arms are. So this arm is right here. You can keep that right there. And then this is just getting rid of the extra paper so nothing's in the way of the head. Now, once you've done that, you're just going to unfold these right here, and you're just going to tuck that underneath so it's out of the way, nice and out of the way again. Yeah. So after you've done that, you're going to flip it over to the front, and you're going to fold the head down so you have a little bit sticking over the top. If you don't, then it's not really that important. I just think it helps with the height. But again, you can make it however you want. Okay, so you should have something that looks like a big old thing with ears and four arms. That's kind of freaky, but we're going to make it look like General Grievous here in a second. Okay, so now after you have that, this is another one of those tricky steps. If you've done everything right up to this point, you can be able to do another one of these third inside reverse folds, and now that you've already done 2, you should be a pro at it. And if not, that's fine. That was a bad joke. Okay. But what you're going to do is you're going to do another one of these reverse folds, and there should be like a sort of crease right here. And right there, that's the fold that we did where I told you to leave a little bit of a that kind of corner, because this is the important part where it is. So what you're going to do is take this and you're going to fold it so that it meets this tip right here, and then you're going to fold it back and just have it so it kind of reveals this part right here. And yeah, so there's that. I'll do that again so you can see this bit, and then you just fold it back, which kind of reveals that part. And then yeah, that's the hardest part of the head right there. And then we're gonna do the same on the other side. So just again, whip, I am not positioning this correctly. You're going to take it, and this one's a little bit harder because you do have to kind of smush the paper a little bit to get it to fit inside the head. That's okay, you can just kind of tuck it out of sight. That's why it's underneath the head. You can put some tape on it later and it'll be fine. Okay, so now the head should look like this. You have those ear things on each side. But the top is looking very, very flat. So what we're going to do is just going to take these and fold them back a tiny bit, so that way it stays symmetrical with the head and keeps that kind of U shape, I guess. Yeah, sure. And then again, do the same thing on the other side. And there we go. That's General Grievous right there. And then you can, for the arms, you can just position them in any way you want. Just sort of do a couple pleats on there, so the arms kind of get looking in some. You can kind of pose them any way you want. You can add some lightsabers onto them, some eyes, and his mouth, I guess. So yeah, I did some pleats here. I added the lightsabers, and after that, you're pretty much done. But there is a few more optional steps where you can get this intricate sort of rib design that he has. You don't have to do this if you want. You can do something else with the rib. You can do something else because this is versatile. You can just completely leave it out if you want, if you like this here. But if you want to do this, then stick around and I'll show you. So this part is honestly a little bit advanced. It does take some fiddling to get right. I didn't get it right on my first try. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and kind of hold this bit down, and hopefully it will pop up this right there. Again, this is a very, very tricky part to do right, and it doesn't happen on your first try. You're going to have to fiddle with the paper a little bit, or if you get lucky and it pops up on your first try, great job. And then again, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You'll probably have to overlap the paper a couple times and unfold the head, but again, it's nothing too serious. So again, just kind of smushing this paper down and then forcing it into this position so it overlaps itself. Okay, the next step is more simpler. You're going to take this and you're just going to fold it out like that. So you have a sort of triangle right there. You're just going to fold it out so that it doesn't go over, it doesn't go under this part right here. You're just going to fold it so it's symmetrical and flush with this, with the body right there. And then again, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then you refold the head and fold those tips back. And then you should have something that looks like this so far, with that sort of setup underneath it. And for the last and final step, you're going to take this bit and you're going to fold it out like this. So you get kind of like a, that right there. Again, this does take a little bit of fiddling. So it doesn't happen on your first try. It does take some tweaking to get right. Of course, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And just like that. See, even I didn't do it right on my first time. So, well, I'm not doing it right in the video right now. So, okay, I'm just tweak it like that. And I'm moving my camera. Oh man, this is so messed up. There we go. And that should do it. And you have that bit right there. And sometimes it gets long for some reason. I don't know why. Other times it doesn't. It's just it varies depending on the size of the paper you're using, how well you did the folds, how big these flaps were going over. It's a lot of variables, but in the end, if you get something you like, then that's a win. And so yeah, that's basically it after you do that. Again, I'll never be able to fold one that looks as good as this one again. That took hours, and that's okay. Origami is about practicing, and just if you don't succeed at first, you try again, and yeah, you keep coming back. That's the whole point of it. If you can't get it right on your first time, don't give up, because that's normal. And so, yeah, that's all I've got for you today. I'll just finish doing these arms. Oh, those look so lopsided. Yeah, hopefully you get the gist of it. And so, yeah, that's all it's going to be for me today. Happy late Revenge of the 5th. And so, yeah, I'm just going on and on. And if you haven't clicked off on the video at this point, then I don't know why you're sticking around, because you want to see me ramble or something. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Subscribe for more awesome origami tutorials, because I do have some more planned for the future. And turn notifications on so you don't miss an upload. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.